What's going on, all you wild Stephen King impersonators out there? Your two favorite uncles from Derry, Maine are back at it tonight. I am Logan Myers. That's my beautiful good mate over there.
And I'm Uncle Henry Hill, and we've got a very special one for you tonight. Stephen King fans out there were anxiously awaiting to visit Derry, Maine once again after It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Andy Muschietti and his producing partner and sister, Barbara Muschietti, are back with their creation, going back in time before the movies, before It, and taking us and telling us the story of the origin of Pennywise and just where he came from and what is he. You find out everything. Well, not everything. You find out a lot in this first season. It's an HBO original series and it's on HBO Max. You can stream it now. It's called Welcome
Welcome to
to Derry.
Derry. That's right. These two wild Stephen King enthusiasts are back at it tonight. Our ongoing joke for a few years now is Andy Muschietti. We send audio messages back and forth to one another, always joking about, hey, it's chapter 3, and hey, we might actually be getting that. But
Yeah.
Andy Muschietti, of course, at the helm of this new series, it really focused more like on the source material, a lot of the book, a lot of the town itself, the people that live in Derry, the evil that lurks, the children, and we actually get like a backstory of the inception of it going back in time, which is really fantastic. But we reviewed, I think, the first few episodes. At first, I did not like this show all that much. I thought the CGI was really bad, but this show got better and better and better. Like
Yeah.
it kind of blew me away, just like how they dive so much into the material and the town itself and the mystery behind it, and finally seeing the infamous clown behind us, Pennywise, showing up towards the end, and just so well done. But yeah, it was a wild ride in this first season.
It was a wild ride getting to know all these kids growing up. This taking place in the 1960s in Derry, Maine. Getting to know these characters that they bring over from the Stephen King universe. You know, all these Stephen King books are tied together. And I love how Dick Halloran was in this one. Of course, Dick from The Shining. You have references to Shawshank Prison, and there's a lot of Easter eggs sprinkled throughout. This is a show that if you're a big Stephen King fan, you're really gonna like. And like you mentioned, yeah, the first two episodes were kind of hit or miss for us. A little too much reliance on CGI, not enough Pennywise. But let us tell you that when Pennywise does finally make his appearance, it's definitely worth the wait. And these episodes in this season really picked up around the midway point, and the last episodes, everything was phenomenal, scary, a lot of very frightening scenes, indeed. Featuring Pennywise in all the ways that his essence, we'll say, can morph and change into things and haunt these kids in different ways. And that was very well done. All the setups and things like that, where they're, setting these kids up and they're having hallucinations and visions of Pennywise. All those were really well done, going down into the sewers towards the end of the season. That left, made for some really awesome and, hypnotic television. You're glued to the screen, you're scared, you're looking around. Really phenomenal. But getting to know these kids as the season goes on, school age kids. We have the younger versions of some of the kids that we know from It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Comes to mind like Richie Boy. His mom is in the show as a little girl. So that was pretty cool too, I thought.
Yeah, a lot of their relatives or parents or whatever, or to the characters we're familiar with from the Losers Club and it basically. And yeah, this is their trauma. This is the things they're dealing with, encountering Pennywise for the first time, what that's all about. But the kids did a really excellent job. Major Leroy Hanlon's like the dad in this, and his young son is the one that encounters this with his group of friends, like all the horrors and terrors of Derry in this, and encountering Pennywise in the sewer, which was still creepy to me. Still one of my biggest fears of clowns. And Bill Skarsgård, man, bravo in this. When him showing up and how frightening and how dark he gets with this character, it just, yeah, one of the iconic, monsters of all of, film and television. Really well done and unsettling. Like it creeped me out like every episode he was in, but a slow burn leading up to him showing up eventually, and just how they ended this was incredible. And I like the whole backstory too, diving into, some
Hmm.
Native American stuff in Derry, dealing with this sort of demon or entity and trying to control it, having to do with these pillars that they dive into, which also has to do with the military in Derry, Maine, and them kind of looking for this stuff. So it was really interesting. And I like how they added a lot of stuff from the book itself,
Hmm.
like more of the,
Yeah.
not just
Hmm.
relying on Pennywise the entire time, but more it, like the shapeshifter and all these
Yeah.
different forms was really incredible.
Yeah, that's what I really enjoyed the most too. Having read it, they took a lot from that book, the thinking of the big tortoise in
Yes.
there, which was in the book, and a lot of the stories that took place like within it that they didn't get to do for the movie were included in this, and it made for some really awesome scenes and some memorable episodes here in Welcome to Derry first season. We were both a little skeptical, like, what do we really need to know like what happened before? But after watching this, it's a definite yes. And this is a show that is planned to go about 3 seasons, I think, is a plan. And after this first season, which is now complete, they're going to go back 27 years before this. So you're going to really find out Pennywise, like where that evil came from. And you got a lot of answers in this show too. Like you mentioned, the scenes with the military and what they find, not to spoil anything, but you really learn more about this character, and you learn he's more than just a clown, really. Like he takes that shape, and you also get a backstory of like the actual person that the evil inhabited, which was really cool, and stuff that was kind of just created, I think, from Andy, the mind of Andy, and the writers. And I thought that was really well done and had some really awesome scenes to see, like how Pennywise was just a normal dad who was like a carnival clown, and he got possessed by this evil.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite episode. It was seeing Bill Skarsgård, playing this just like circus clown, drinking and smoking, and basically it's been in every meme lately. Like how your year's going. And I thought
Yeah.
he played that perfectly. Of course, he has a young daughter, which is a big part of the show, like the adult version of his daughter and what she's up to, without giving too much away. Madeline Stowe, he was huge in the 90s
Yeah.
and playing, this character's daughter. So I like how they did that. Don't like back in the day when he's like more human form and doing the circus act and the clown, and how the evil takes over and becomes this character that we know today with Pennywise. And I thought it was really well done. Going back to what you're saying, the new season, the next season is going to be the 1930s. So it's going to be going back in time. It's going to be even cooler in the 1930s, what's going on in the world. And I'm very excited for that. The first few episodes, I wasn't on board 100%, but it changed my mind throughout just because of the writing and everything they threw out. Yeah, the CGI got a lot better. The writing got a lot better. The
Yeah.
characters more on the line. It was scarier, and they really dived into a lot more of the source material. Easter eggs sprinkled throughout. The cast was fantastic in this. Love the kids in this. I think Marge is probably my favorite of the kids. She has a
Yeah.
little thing going on with her eye without giving too much away, but I
Yeah.
liked I liked her personality. She was really great in this. All the kids were great, and a lot of characters that we know, just younger versions of them in this with Dick Halloran, Leroy Hanlon. List goes on and on. Seeing younger versions of them, and the backdrop, all the Stephen King universe with Shawshank and everything thrown at you. Just bravo, well crafted first season. A season I would definitely pick up for the home collection, and a season that we both highly recommend that's on HBO right now. So that being said, I'm gonna give Welcome to Derry first season. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Dick Halloran hair pieces. Whoosh.
I loved his character in this too, seeing how his powers when he was younger and
Yeah.
how he was in the military and they were using him. Track this down, really. That was really interesting. I really enjoyed this first season of Welcome to Derry. It grew on me. I think by episode 3 on, I was like, okay, now we're talking, and it just got better as the season went on. So definitely check this out. This is a great new show. You know, I wasn't expecting this to be good. I thought they were just kind of going for a cash grab here. Let's show more Pennywise. You know, I wasn't thinking that it was going to be as well written as it was, but they did a really great job here. And now I'm like fully on board and want more from this. So, with that being said, I am going to give season one of Welcome to Derry. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 Pennywise hair pieces.
And I also like how they went into the deadlights in this without also spoiling too much, but really incredible how that played out and having to do with the kids and where that's going to lead in the next season. Really, really well done. And then also towards the end, how it ties in to some other movies and stories without giving too much away. I like how that was done. I'm like, heck yes, at the very end. I love how they did that. So
Yeah.
bravo, Uncle Andy and Barbara. Job well done. Can't wait for more of this. Anyways, want to hear from all you wild Derry enthusiasts out there. What did you like about Welcome to Derry? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite flick? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to stay up, subscribe. Also, check out these wild clowns on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV, movie news, and reviews.
Thank you, wild ghouls out there, for watching our review of Welcome to Derry Season 1. Dance on over to HBO and check it out while you can. We both highly recommend it. Thank you guys for watching our review. Until the next Cinefellas TV review. Ooh, there it is. There's the novel. Stephen King's It. If you haven't read that yet, too, highly recommend it. That's a great read. I did the
1,200
audiobook
pages.
version, 1,200
Well,
pages, or do the Audible version and listen to it like I did. Thank you guys for watching. See you in Derry. Cheese!